and welcome to another exciting cooking adventure. This time we're not going to smoke anything because last time kind of scared me. This time we're going to cook something. What are we going to cook? Well, I am a big fan of French cooking. I know it's hard to believe looking at me that I enjoy anything involving food. But I am a big fan of French cooking. And how did I come about my love? Well, let me show you right now in this little video vignette that I put together just for you. If you're a fan of ABC Wednesday night comedy shows, you should know what I'm trying to do here.
It was the summer of 1980-something, and I was doing my usual radio thing every morning in somewhere, Ohio. A great summer of fun, food, and play. And then, mysteriously, I disappeared from the airwaves for 30 days. Speculation had me going into rehab, but that's what I wanted you to think. In fact, I'd gone to Paris at the expense of my employer to study culinary arts. My boss, Big Al, as we called him, purchased my first-class airfare to wing my way to France and to realize my lifelong dream. Upon arrival, I checked into my hotel, took in a few sights, including the Louvre, where I saw a Renaissance marble rendering of a Roman plumber. I quickly entered the Académie, called Le Maison du Fromage Camembert, or the College of Smelly Cheeses. There I took the crash course on French cuisine. Soups, sauces, main entrees, everything French. But my absolute favorite dish was pomme fondant, or as we whimsically called them, pomme fondant, or cheerleader potatoes. The best part was learning French, like ouvrez la porte, or ouvrez la fenêtre, or voulez-vous accoucher avec moi? And the always useful, excusez-moi, JPT. I wrapped up my studies and returned to the States, where I picked up where I left off like nothing happened, to total secrecy.
Well, about 93.7% of that was unnecessary, but as sure as Nessie is swimming in Loch Ness as we speak, that is true. All right, maybe I embellished it a little bit because that's what
old people do, old people do, old people do.
Yes, I padded the story a little bit to make it more interesting, so sue me. However, to let you know exactly what I did, we consult Bob's big book of embellishments. Now, the embellishments I made, number one, I did not go to Paris in 1980-something. It didn't happen. Number two, my boss, Big Al, did not buy me a first-class ticket. He wouldn't give me the time of day. Big Al, what time is it?
Buy a watch.
See?
Lightweight.
Number three, there was no hotel. Number four, no culinary school. Number five, I did see the Louvre, but that was in 2011 when I saw the aforementioned marble Roman plumber. Number six, I did not learn to love pomme fondant then, nor are they called cheerleader potatoes. Totally made that up and embellished it. Number seven, I learned no French except excusez-moi, JPT, but I learned that from a Weird Al video parody of Lady Gaga. And number eight, it was rehab for those 30 days.
30 days in the hole.
So there you have it. I made most of that up, about 93.7%. But I have learned to love fondant potatoes. And how did I find out about them? One of our cruises, we had them. Also, I found videos. Chef John Food Wishes has a great one on how to make fondant potatoes. And that's what we're going to do today. It's a lot of fun, it's real easy, it's very delicious, and you are going to love it, so let's get started. Okay, we're making fondant potatoes, and this is all you need. Russet potatoes. The consistency is perfect for what we're going to do. We're basically going to roast these in a chicken broth. And to make our chicken broth, we're going to use this.
my soup base. Love this stuff. It's incredible. And, you know, you can use any chicken broth you want, anything that's canned or boxed or whatever you find in the grocery store. I prefer this. It's very creamy. You're going to need salt, you're going to need pepper, and you're going to need garlic, plus some fresh thyme. This is it. It's all you need for fondant potatoes. You are going to love it. You're going to say to yourself, boy, are these good, over and over again until you're done eating them. Okay, so how do we prep these potatoes? Well, what you want to do is you want to, like I said, uniform in size, as all the potatoes should be, just so they look very nice on the plate. You're going to cut off both ends as flatly as you can, such as this. And then you're going to peel them. Now, you can get a potato peeler and peel them that way if you want to, but this way, if you cut it this way, what'll happen is you kind of get columns. And since this was eaten by royalty back in Europe, you can pretend like they're the columns outside your castle. I guess that would be more Roman than European, but still, just imagine how delightful that's going to look. So you cut all these down, and then if you've still got some at the bottom, just trim that off. Now, some people, what they do is they'll cut a 45-degree angle across the top. I prefer this only because, like I said, it's going to look like a column. So now, you find the exact center of that, or as close as you can get, and then you cut it in half. And there you have a couple of really wambly and wombly things. They're supposed to look a little bit better than that, but can you see the columns? And you're going to do all your potatoes this way. As you can plainly see, my knife skills are lacking, but that's okay. I don't claim to be a master chef. I'm just kind of an old disc jockey that decided to start doing something a little different. So let's make another column here with this one. Okay, so there's your little columns of deliciousness. I'm sure you can imagine, you know, the soldiers marching into the beautifulness that is the thing with the... Yeah, that really is a terrible analogy, and they really don't look very good, but they are going to taste good. So what you do then is you take the potatoes and you put them in some cold water. We're going to get the starch off of them and let them sit in there for about 5 minutes or so as you prepare your other materials for this beautiful cooking extravaganza. Oh, hi, yeah, here we are back, and we're in the Nerve Center, which is where I do all the editing. We're also in my kitchen where we do all the filming, and we're also near the stove where we do all of our cooking, except for outside where the smoker is. So next we've got to make our broth, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All you need to do is take some of your soup stock, put it in about 1.5 cups of water, put it on the stove, bring the temperature up a little bit till all the stuff dissolves, and we'll use that to pour into our pan when the time comes to roast the potatoes. Okay, now we've got all things all lined up here, and what we're going to use a cast iron skillet. Any heavy iron skillet will do, just large enough to put your potatoes in there. You can use the big cast iron if you want. I'm using a smaller one today. Then we're going to put in a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil or canola oil or anything with a high temperature tolerance. And you're going to let that just warm up until it simmers. And when it does, we'll set our potatoes in there. So while we're waiting for the oil to heat, what we'll do is we'll wipe off the potatoes, pat them dry, just so we don't have any water on them, because you know hot oil and water don't mix. Now we get our potatoes, put them in the oil. What we're going to do, put the best looking side down. We're going to let it go in there for about 5 minutes or so. As soon as the oil is at temperature and you put them in there, you can reduce it to medium-high heat. That's the whole point of the fondant potatoes, is to have a nice crust on the top part. Just browning, probably about 5 minutes, till they start to look like that. That's what you want. And now your oil has served its purpose. It's done. It browned up the bottom, so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that oil.
soak it up, flip them all over, and add some butter and your thyme. Oh, that smell is delightful. I'll take a little bit of your thyme and brush the top with the butter mixture. Wait for the rest of that butter to melt down a little bit more. And you want to wait until it starts to turn just a little bit brown on top. Take your chicken stock and you're just going to pour it right into the pan. What you want to pour in, just enough to cover about 1/3 of the potatoes. So you're talking about a cup or so, a little less than a cup. And this is going to go into the oven. 425 degrees, and we're going to leave it in there for about 25 minutes. 25 minutes or so, and it should come out and be absolutely delicious. After 10 minutes or so, you want to check, make sure you still have plenty of liquid. Yes, we do, because it's roasting in that broth. And that's what's going to make it happen, the chicken stock. So we're about 10 minutes away. Meanwhile, back here in the nerve center, I noticed a couple of things during that video. Number one, I lost my Eastern Ohio accent when I was in radio over the years. I developed a non-American accent. However, I see my nasaliness is coming back and I'm saying potatoes. Potatoes. Yeah. I also noticed that when I say column, that it kind of reminds me of Lord of the Rings. Column. Yeah. So it's time now to find out if our efforts have paid off. So let's check them out, give them a taste, and see how our fondant potatoes turn out. Oh, how I wish you could smell these. It's filling up the whole house. The smell is just wonderful. So take them out, check them out, see what we got. You want them to be crispy on top, meaty on the sides. That's perfect, just perfect. And they're very soft. Oh my, knife goes right into them like you wouldn't believe. Garnish them with a little bit of fresh thyme just for the beauty purposes. And you have a meal fit for a king, because, well, at one time it was. Oh gosh, those looks and smells so good. Also, you want to take some of this butter concoction that's in your pan and drizzle it over the top. And there you have it. Potatoes fondant, or fondant potatoes. Let's not be silly and fake French. Okay, so here we have them, our fondant potatoes, and they are just so moist. The best part of this is you get the crispy top, you get the very dense and well seasoned interior, and it really is, I mean, it's just delicious. Let's cut into it, see what we got, because I think you're going to be amazed. Look at that. Look at the interior of that thing. That's just perfect. Just perfect. Fall apart in your mouth perfect. Take a little taste. See what we have. A little bit of that butter. Oh my. Oh. That is so good with the garlic and the thyme and the butter and the crispiness on top. I mean, it takes a little time, but you could throw a bag of frozen French fries in the oven, or you could do this for your family, and they'll be very appreciative. The salt, the pepper, the thyme, the garlic, the butter, the chicken stock, it is delicious. So I hope you give it a shot. Fondant potatoes. Okay, so there you go, fondant potatoes. They're pretty good. Couple of things to keep in mind. If you use the soup base, the McCormick stuff that we use, just keep in mind that there is quite a bit of sodium in that, so you don't really have to season the tops or the bottoms of the potatoes as much as you would. But if you use regular chicken stock, I would suggest a liberal amount of salt on the top before you start the process, and after you flip them, some more on the bottom. Try them, fondant potatoes. It's going to be in one of our holiday meals for sure, I guarantee that. Try them out, and also stay tuned after
Stay tuned. You're not tuned into anything. You're watching this on YouTube or something. Anyway, after which the credits run, watch for a special bonus scene. Ooh.
Alright, as our chicken stock is getting ready and the potatoes are destarching, we bring in the designated garlic mincer. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Alice to mince some garlic. There she is, ladies and gentlemen, the Simpson family garlic mincer.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you very much.
Very well done.